This episode is provided by Thomas Allgaier and Freenus, based on the most relevant LinkedIn posts about channel marketing in calendar weeks 25 and 26. Freenus is a B2B market research partner helping ICT and tech providers identify niche channel partners by compressing the full journey from identification to qualified first meeting into 4 to 5 weeks. You can find more info in the description. So, think about the last major enterprise software deal you closed.
Yeah, try to picture it.
Right. Now, what if I told you that the buyer's trust in your product was entirely decided before you even entered the room? Welcome to the deep dive.
It's fantastic to be here. We are digging into the most critical insights from the last 2 weeks of B2B channel marketing. And that idea of pre-decided trust is exactly where the industry is shifting right now.
Yeah, because if you are a B2B marketing professional today and you're trying to build a revenue-generating partner ecosystem, you are probably feeling a massive shift beneath your feet.
Oh, absolutely. The ground is moving.
Exactly. And we aren't just looking at generic advice today. We are unpacking the actual mechanisms of what is moving the needle based on curated insights from leaders in the space.
Right. And if there is one glaring signal across all these posts, it is that traditional cold outreach in enterprise sales is just, well, it's severely breaking down.
It really is. I mean, the underlying mechanism here is cognitive load. Enterprise buyers are simply overwhelmed.
Yeah, they are bombarded with messaging, cold calls, automated email sequences that all sound, exactly the same.
Totally. And when a human being is faced with that level of cognitive overload, they don't evaluate new information objectively. They just retreat to their trusted networks.
Which makes perfect sense. Sanjay Dubey had a brilliant post about this recently. He pointed out that buyers just flat out do not trust cold outreach anymore. They trust the ecosystems they are already embedded in.
Right, which means your strategy has to adapt to that reality. Sanjay's actionable advice for you, like if you are running partner marketing, is to look at your top 20 target accounts and map your partner ecosystem directly to them.
Exactly. You don't start by blasting those 20 accounts with direct mail.
No, you find the partners who are already inside those accounts, the ones who already carry context and credibility, and that becomes your primary entry point.
I love that. And Will Taylor built on this dynamic with a concept that I think fundamentally changes how we should view go-to-market strategies. He calls it borrowed trust.
Borrowed trust. That's a great term.
Right. B2B marketers often act like trust is something they have to manufacture out of thin air with every single prospect. But Will argues that the buyer's trust is often established through their existing tech stack.
So if a buyer is already heavily utilizing 3 of your integration partners, you aren't a cold vendor anymore.
Exactly. You are the next logical addition to a web of trust they already rely on.
The web of trust. Will also noted that 75% of B2B transactions are expected to flow through channel partners this year, which is huge.
It's a staggering number.
Yeah. But let's get tactical for a second. It's one thing to say, borrow trust, but how does that actually manifest in a complex deal? Zach Elias shared a real-world scenario that illustrates this perfectly.
Oh, the Indigo post. That was a fascinating breakdown.
Yeah. He broke down a massive brand migration to Shopify for the brand Indigo. And it wasn't just Shopify selling a platform.
Not at all. Zach noted there were over 12 unique integrations in that stack.
Right, each uniquely configured for that specific enterprise environment. And his core point was that no single vendor, not even the primary platform, gets a deal like that live on their own.
No. It's impossible. Co-selling in these complex scenarios is not some popularity contest where you win by taking a partner out to an expensive steak dinner.
Exactly. It's an operational necessity. You literally cannot get the deal done without a coalition of partners aligning their technology and their timelines. It's like trying to crash a VIP party versus walking in with the VIP.
That is a perfect analogy. It completely reframes the purpose of a partner ecosystem. As B2B tech stacks become more entangled, the partner motion becomes load-bearing infrastructure.
Right.
You are no longer just sharing leads. You are organizing a group of distinct companies to solve one customer's massive operational headache.
I completely agree with the theory, but I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
If you are a B2B marketer listening to this, and we are saying you can't dinner your way through 12 integrations and direct sales is drowning in cognitive load, are we basically admitting that traditional B2B marketing pipelines are dead?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah. Are we just entirely dependent on partners now?
Well, I wouldn't say they are dead, but they are undergoing a ruthless evolution. You can't just slap a partner label on a relationship and expect it to generate revenue.
Right.
Amitabh Chaudhuri addressed this exact tension. He warned that assuming partnerships are purely about, relationships is a trap.
Because a good relationship might get your emails returned, but it doesn't create sustainable pipeline.
Exactly. Amianto argues that for a partnership to actually survive, it has to be built at the intersection of three highly specific things: customer outcomes, revenue alignment, and executive sponsorship.
So if you don't have a shared, documented understanding of exactly how your joint solution helps the customer win and how both sales teams get paid, the pipeline will just evaporate.
Yep. It requires a level of rigorous alignment.
But that brings up a massive paradox in the industry right now. If these ecosystems and this borrowed trust are the ultimate cheat code for enterprise growth, you would think companies would be throwing blank checks at their partner teams.
You would think so, but they aren't.
No. Partner teams are constantly fighting for scraps of budget. Why is there such a massive disconnect?
It is the single biggest point of friction for partner leaders, and it almost entirely comes down to the CFO's desk. It is a fundamental crisis in the data layer.
Proving return on investment to finance.
Exactly. Shigata Sanyol delivered a really harsh reality check on this. He pointed out that channel programs usually get funded on faith in the beginning.
Right, like the CEO believes in partnerships, so they greenlight it.
Yeah. But eventually you walk into a budget meeting where that faith runs out. Finance sits down and asks for the return by motion. Marketing points to their attribution software, direct sales points to their pipeline, and the partner team shows up with
a really nice anecdotal story about a great quarterly business review.
Exactly. And we all know how that ends. When capital gets tight and budgets get reallocated, the channel loses.
But it isn't because the channel doesn't perform. It is because the channel lacks the infrastructure to prove it performs.
Nailed it. Shigata's advice is that you have to completely kill the MQL, the marketing qualified-led mindset in partnerships. You have to focus entirely on qualified pipeline.
Okay, but how do you actually capture that proof? Because Pablo Hano brought up the CFO's perspective, and it highlights just how flawed our current tracking is.
Oh, the tracking is a mess.
Right. If a partner just resells your software, that's easy to track. The money changes hands. But co-selling, where a partner influences a direct deal.
That's so murky.
Pablo pointed out that most companies rely on a sales rep tag in their CRM. A direct rep closes a deal, and there's a little drop-down box where they manually tag a partner who helped.
And Pablo says that is simply not a defensible data point for finance.
It is completely indefensible. Think about the mechanism there. You are relying on human behavior, human memory, and a direct sales rep who is entirely focused on their own commission.
They're going to forget to tag the partner, or they might intentionally not tag them if they think it complicates their payout.
Exactly. Finance knows this data is flawed. Pablo says you need written, ironclad definitions of what partner-sourced and partner-influenced actually mean.
And it has to be agreed upon by sales, finance, and partnerships before a single deal is registered. You need strict CRM governance enforced from the top down.
Yes, you need systems that capture the pre-sales activities, the account mapping sessions, the joint demos, the email introductions. If you only look at the final outcome, you miss the entire influence journey.
This is exactly where Von Mordecai raised a massive red flag. Everyone in the SaaS world right now is pitching AI and automation as the magic fix for these tracking issues.
Oh, of course. Just buy this new tool and it will automate your partner attribution.
Right. But Vaughn points out that the real wall is the underlying data layer itself. Partner marketing data doesn't live in one place.
It lives in a dozen disconnected systems. You've got partner relationship management portals, you've got direct CRMs, shared Slack channels, spreadsheets.
And Vaughn's point is that you cannot automate what you cannot see, and you cannot attribute what you cannot track. If you plug an AI automation tool into a fractured data layer, you are just automating a guess.
That is such a good point. The foundational plumbing has to be fixed before you buy the shiny automation tool.
Absolutely. And what's wild is that this measurement crisis isn't just a B2B SaaS problem. It is actively destroying budgets in affiliate marketing right now, too.
Yes. Annabelle Gray brought this up, and it is a perfect example of how bad data models ruin good strategy. She pointed out that major consumer and B2B brands are actively defunding their affiliate marketing budgets.
Which seems insane because affiliate is a pay-per outcome channel. You literally only pay when a sale happens.
Right. Why would a CFO cut a guaranteed return on ad spend?
Exactly. So what's the driver there?
It's because of marketing mix modeling, or MMM. For anyone not deep in the analytics weeds, MMM is a statistical model that looks at massive amounts of historical data to figure out which marketing channels actually drove sales.
Okay, sure. That sounds standard.
But Annabelle pointed out that these models are fundamentally flawed when it comes to affiliates. They group all affiliate subtypes together: cashback sites, niche influencers, loyalty programs.
Oh, I see.
And because affiliates only earn a commission on a completed sale, their activity perfectly correlates with revenue spikes. But the MMM looks at that data and assumes the affiliate is just claiming credit for existing demand.
So it misreads the causation entirely. It assumes the customer was going to buy anyway, and the affiliate just jumped in at the last second.
Exactly. So the model tells the CFO, this channel doesn't drive incremental growth, and the CFO slashes the budget on a channel that was actually driving massive, efficient revenue.
Wow. It is a tragedy of bad data architecture.
It really is. But I want to pause on all this operational talk for a second.
Hey, let's pause.
Because if you are listening to this, you might be thinking exactly what a lot of traditional partner managers think. Doesn't formalizing all this data and obsessing over CRM governance kind of kill the organic human side of partnerships?
I hear that complaint all the time.
Right. We are talking about turning relationships and trust into rigid spreadsheets. Doesn't that destroy the magic?
Well, Greg Portnoy had a perspective that completely flipped my thinking on this. He argued that the operational rigor is actually what protects the human relationships.
Wait, really? How so?
He outlined the dividing line between companies that just give lip service to partnerships and companies that actually treat it as a strategic pillar. And right at the top of his list for serious companies was having a dedicated budget for tooling, infrastructure, and a dedicated partner ops team.
That makes total sense when you play it out. If you are a partner manager, you can build the best human relationship in the world.
Yes, you can have ultimate trust.
But if you walk into a QBR and you don't have the data to prove that partner's financial worth to your company, your CFO will just cut their resources.
Exactly. They'll pull their marketing development funds and ignore them. The spreadsheet doesn't replace the handshake. The spreadsheet funds the handshake.
Without the operations, the relationship is defenseless. Okay, so let's assume you fought that battle. You have your partner ops person, your CRM governance is solid, and your CFO is happy.
That's a good place to be.
It is. But the very next hurdle you are going to slam into is actually getting those partners to sell your product. And this is the biggest roadblock in the industry right now, the activation crisis.
Oh, absolutely. This is where the rubber meets the road. Lincoln Axon ran a massive poll across B2B ecosystem communities, asking leaders what their single biggest challenge was.
And I bet it wasn't recruiting.
It wasn't. Everyone knows how to sign a partner. The number one challenge by a massive margin was moving partners from a signed agreement to their first dollar of revenue.
Just getting them to actually do the thing they signed up to do. Almost half the respondents said this was their primary headache.
Yeah, and I think the reason we struggle with this is that we treat activation like it's a university course.
Yes. Corey Jonikin broke down this fallacy brilliantly. He pointed out that the standard playbook is you sign a partner, you give them a login to a portal, you load it up with 15 hours of certification videos.
And then you run a kickoff webinar and sit back and wonder why they aren't bringing you deals.
Because training only solves a knowledge gap. It tells partners what your product does. It does absolutely nothing to change their daily sales behavior or overcome the friction of selling something new.
Exactly. Corey's approach flips this entirely. He suggests a three-part system. First, you have to be highly selective before you even try to activate someone. You do not activate every partner that signs.
Right. You look at their existing sales motion and ask, do we have a clear, undeniable reason to win together in the market? If not, do not waste the enablement hours.
And his second point is where the real shift happens. Don't give them a generic welcome kit. Co-build the first deal together. He advocates for a 30-day joint pipeline plan.
I love that. You sit down with the partner, identify 4 highly specific target accounts where your joint solution is a perfect fit, and you map out exactly how you are going to get the introduction.
Yes. And his third point is the measurement shift. Track behavior, not training hours. Do not report on how many certification modules a partner clicked through.
You have to measure momentum. When did they make their first joint customer call? When did they register their first opportunity?
When did the first co-sell deal close? Your support and your resources have to follow their activity, not their test scores.
It reminds me of someone joining a gym. The traditional activation model is like selling a new partner a gym membership. handing them a dense manual on the biomechanics of a treadmill, and then acting shocked when they don't lose 20 pounds.
That is the perfect analogy. You can't just give them a key card.
No, you have to put them under the barbell and physically spot them on their first heavy lift. You have to take the weight with them.
You are spotting them until they build the muscle memory to do it alone. But here is the frustrating part. Even if you are in the gym spotting them, your own internal company processes can still drop the weight on them.
Oh, for sure. Trevor Burnett brought up a massive issue regarding vendor bottlenecks, specifically around quoting.
Yes, Trevor brought up partner self-quoting, or CPQ.
And for anyone outside of RevOps, CPQ stands for Configure Price Quote. It's the software engine that handles complex pricing logic, discounts, and generating the actual legal, quote, document.
Right. And for years, vendors have kept CPQ access locked away internally as a control point. So a partner goes out, they generate the demand, they pitch the client is ready to buy.
And the partner has to submit a request and just wait. They sit in the dark while the vendor's internal deal desk reviews it, which can take days.
And Trevor argues that B2B buying has simply moved too fast for that. Buyers are conditioned by consumer tech. They want self-serve speed.
If a partner validates a fit, but then has to tell the client, hold on, I need to email my vendor and get a price in 72 hours, that delay literally kills the deal. The fiction just cools the buyer's intent.
Absolutely. Trevor noted that the fastest-growing partner programs are actively removing operational friction at the exact moment that buyer intent is highest. They are giving partners direct access to self-quoting.
And to be clear, this doesn't mean zero governance.
No.
It means giving partners a rules-based, automated way to price standard, straightforward solutions so they can move at the speed of the buyer. You reserve your internal deal desk only for complex exceptions.
It is a massive upgrade to the partner experience.
So if you can dial in the data for your CFO, handhold a partner through their first closed deal, and remove the friction of quoting, the ultimate question becomes, how do you take that highly manual, heavy lifting process and scale it globally?
Without hiring 100 new partner managers, you mean?
Exactly. Which brings us to our final major shift, scaling the ecosystem through AI and cloud marketplaces.
These are without a doubt the twin accelerators of modern channel marketing right now. Let's start with the AI piece.
Let's do it.
The mandate from executives everywhere right now is grow partner revenue without adding any new headcount. So everyone is looking to AI.
But Chris Lavoie offered a much-needed reality check on how partner teams are actually deploying this.
He absolutely did. Chris pointed out that just buying enterprise licenses for ChatGPT or Claude and telling your partner managers to be more productive doesn't fix a broken operating model.
It just creates what he brilliantly called prompt zombies. People staring at a blinking cursor, asking an LLM to write a generic email, and pretending that is a strategic breakthrough.
Right. To get real, scalable productivity, Chris says you have to fundamentally redesign the workflows. You have to categorize the work.
First, you use AI to aggressively absorb the rote administrative tasks, right?
Yes. Summarizing status updates, generating first draft meeting agendas, pulling basic reporting, you get that off the human's plate entirely.
Then you use AI to compress the work humans still own. For example, prepping for a major co-sell meeting. Instead of a partner manager spending 3 hours researching an account,
AI synthesizes the account history, the recent news, and the partner's integration points into a 5-minute brief.
Exactly. And the final, most crucial step. Because AI is handling the administration and the research, you have to force your team to upgrade the high-value skills that humans must dominate.
We are talking about complex judgment, executive alignment, navigating office politics, and genuine trust building.
Because AI doesn't magically make a bad partner manager great. It strips away the busy work and exposes whether they actually know how to build strategic relationships.
Well said. And it isn't just the partner teams using AI. It is fundamentally changing the partners themselves. David Wilson shared a perspective on this that completely blew my mind.
Oh, this was fascinating. He looked at how AI impacts services partners, the integrators and consultants. He argues that AI is allowing them to shift from selling projects to selling products.
I mean, explain how that mechanism works, because that is a massive shift in business models.
Well, think about a specialized implementation partner. They have years of deep pattern recognition. They've seen 50 different banks struggle with the exact same data migration issue.
Okay, yeah.
Historically, they would sell 50 custom, highly bespoke consulting projects. It was incredibly manual. But David points out that with AI, these partners can now synthesize all that historical project data, identify the exact commonalities, and use AI to write the boilerplate code.
Wow, so they build automation scripts to solve 80% of the problem instantly.
Exactly. So they are codifying their intellectual property. They are turning a bespoke service into a repeatable, scalable software product.
They aren't just selling hours anymore. They are selling a proprietary solution. That is how a services partner truly scales their profit margins.
Which perfectly transitions us to the giant elephant in the room when it comes to scaling margins. Hyperscalers. And when we say hyperscalers, we're talking about the massive cloud infrastructure providers, AWS, Google Cloud, Microsoft Azure.
They're entirely rewriting the rules of B2B procurement.
They absolutely are. Peter Silley highlighted a quiet but massive update from AWS recently that perfectly illustrates their strategy. AWS slashed their professional services marketplace listing fees by a staggering 80%.
It dropped from taking a 2.5% cut down to just 0.5%.
To put that in perspective, Peter pointed out that if a partner sold a $500,000 professional services engagement through the AWS marketplace last year, AWS took $12,500 just for processing the transaction.
And today?
Today, they take $2,500. That is $10,000 going straight back into the partner's pocket on every $500,000 deal.
But why would AWS do that? They are a hyper-capitalist tech giant. They don't run charities.
No, they definitely don't.
Peter pointed out that they are intentionally removing the economic friction to force a behavioral shift. AWS wants every piece of professional services routed through their marketplace because it gives them ultimate visibility into how their cloud is being consumed.
Right. If the services flow through AWS and the software flows through AWS, the customer is locked into their procurement ecosystem.
It is brilliant ecosystem engineering, and they are backing up these financial incentives with crazy tech infrastructure. Matt Yankishan shared that AWS Partner Central, their portal for partners, now has agents that are auto-qualifying co-sell opportunities.
This is wild. In the past, a partner would submit an opportunity to AWS, and it was like throwing a coin down a well.
Yeah, you sit in the dark and wait weeks to hear if an AWS rep wants to help you sell it.
Not anymore. Matt noted that partners are now getting real-time opportunity quality scoring. The system instantly analyzes the deal and uses agents to recommend exact next steps to progress it.
It is the difference between navigating a dark forest with a flashlight versus having a GPS system actively rerouting you around traffic.
It really is. And this raises a fascinating question for you, the listener, to think about.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Are hyperscaler marketplaces basically becoming the new operating system for B2B sales? Because it feels like AWS and Microsoft are building the exact data infrastructure, the attribution tracking, and the activation tools that we just spent this whole deep dive saying individual partner teams are struggling to build themselves.
I think they are. Ecosystem control and pre-vetted trust are the new moats in B2B software, and the hyperscalers are essentially renting out the operating system for those moats.
Yeah.
The days of partner marketing running on good vibes, steak dinners, and manual spreadsheets are entirely behind us. The winners are adopting rigorous data governance, behavioral activation, and marketplace leverage.
We have covered a massive amount of ground today, from the cognitive load killing cold outreach to the demands of the CFO and the scalable future of AI and AWS. If you enjoyed this episode, new episodes drop every 2 weeks. Also, check out our other editions on account-based marketing, field marketing, AI in B2B marketing, MarTech, go-to-market, and social selling.
It has been an absolute pleasure unpacking these strategies with you today.
Before you go, we want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. We spend so much time and budget obsessing over how to recruit the next big logo into our partner program. But before you spend your next dollar chasing a brand new relationship, ask yourself, what if your biggest, fastest growth opportunity is simply finding and removing the internal friction for the partners who are already sitting quietly in your ecosystem, waiting for you to spot them on their next heavy lift? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe.